All right, confession time. I have never understood chainsaw. Never have. It's sad. I'm angry. I'm depressed and a little bit embarrassed. So what I'm going to do now is I want to go through and learn it myself. This is the way that I learn. It's just putting ones together and messing around. I can't do the numbers. I can't do the thinking. I can't do all the strategic planning. So I actually have to dig in there and get the numbers. So let's go and take a look and see what we have. I'm going to make a wand with a high cast delay. I'm going to make a wand with a high recharge time. And then I'm going to make kind of an in-between wand, actually a decent wand. And we're going to test them out. Now, don't panic. I am going to make an identical wand setup and test apples to apples towards the end. But in the beginning, I just want to kind of go through this and see if we can understand cast delay, recharge time, and the effect that chainsaw has versus the effect that Lumi drill has versus the effect that a modifier would have. So let's set up the wands and we'll put them together, and then we're going to start grabbing some of the spells so that we can have some wands set up here. I'm going to fast forward just a smidge so that you can see once I've got it done. Ooh, that was spooky. Anyway, so what we have now is we have our basic setup where we have one that has a long recharge time, one that has a long cast delay. Well, not long, but longer cast delay. And then we have one that is about equal, but a little faster than the top two. So if we consider just moving a few things around here, we can see that when we have a high recharge time, chainsaw is not going to be very effective. But when we have a high cast delay, the same setup with chainsaw is going to make a tremendous difference. Okay, well, that makes sense. And I mean, in this case, obviously, if all things being equal, oh, well, I got to change it around a bit here. All things being equal, this should, yeah, it works exactly like the other one, because what we're looking at is high cast delay is what we are getting rid of with chainsaw. All right, let's do an apples to apples with the decent wand that has both a relatively low recharge time and a relatively low cast delay. And we're also going to use light, because light can act like, it kind of acts like dual cast at the end. What it does is it wraps. So you find light at the end. Light is a modifier stuck at the end of a wand. When you stick a modifier at the end of the wand, it's going to grab the next one. Okay, look at the difference between these two, okay? So one of them is using Lumi and the other one is using chainsaw. So which of the two is more effective, chainsaw or Lumi? All right, so it looks like if all things are equal, Lumi does a little bit better of a job in this circumstance. If we move it to something that has a much higher recharge time, though, I think it really screws it. Yeah. So if we look at, moving it to a wand that has a much worse recharge time, what if it has a worse cast delays? Is it going to be okay? Oh, okay. So yeah, so Lumi not doing as fantastic of a job with cast delay either. So Lumi seems to do a good job when you have a decent one to start with. Yeah, we didn't need to move all those. We could just have moved one of them. But let's see. Chainsaw does a better job with higher cast delay, an even higher cast delay. So if you have really high cast delay, looks like Chainsaw is your dude. If you have lower cast delay and lower recharge time, you can overcome it with a Lumi drill. Now, reduce recharge time modifier, I find it's less effective than Lumi drill, but for some reason it says it's better. Let's just play around a little bit. All right, obviously putting the double shot was a bad idea, but it does look like when you use it to kind of just wrap with light, it doesn't do that bad of a job. I mean, obviously if we put them together, that's gonna smoking. All right. So we can see that does a pretty good job there, but it looks like 2 of those is needed to overcome that really, really high cast delay and recharge. Well, cast delay, right? Now, I realize for some of you this is oh so obvious, but for some of us it's not. So let me go over again what we're talking about here. with chainsaw, tie it to cast. So C for chain, C for cast. Recharge timer obviously can help with recharge. And Lumi drill is when you don't need a lot of either, but you need a little bit of both. And you can get a really decent one with Lumi drill in that case. I still love me Lumi drill, but now at least you can see the way that these are set up. It's the same basic setup for each. At least this is the simple way that I like to build them. Same basic setup for each with really simple and easy to find spells. Chainsaw, you're looking for one that has high cast, well, not high cast delay, but higher cast delay, lower recharge time. Always look for that lower recharge time for chainsaw. You want a lower cast delay and higher recharge time if you're going to use the recharge time modifier. And Lumi drill is for when you're messing around with something in between, which has lower values for both. So that should get you where you need to be. Now, like I said, for some people, this is like blatantly obvious, but for people like me, it's not. So if you're like me, hopefully this was helpful. I do understand some of you are going to put some comments in the comment section saying how stupid I am, how bad my wand builds are, whatever. It's fine. This was more of to help the rest of us, not the best of us. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I got to head out of here. So YouTube, you're up.